Let's assume you have a completed paper and you need to format it. First, click on Control and A on your keyboard at the same time to highlight all of your work. Next, come to the Home tab and go to the Font area and choose the font style. These are listed alphabetically, so you need to scroll down through the alphabet until you get to the T's, and you'll find Times New Roman. Next, you'll change the size of the font by using this arrow, and we'll choose 12. Next, we'll move to the paragraph area. Click on this small arrow on the bottom right-hand side to see this pop up. First, you're going to look at an indentation, and you're going to go to this area, click on the arrow and choose first line. Next, you want to make sure that before and after both read 0. I can change this by clicking on this small arrow and go to line spacing and choose double. Finally, make sure that this is selected because you don't want to add space between paragraphs of the same style. When you've done those 4 things, click OK. Next, you'll want to deal with the margins. Come up to the Page Layout tab, move left to the margins, and select Normal. That will give you 1-inch margins all the way around. Once your paper is formatted, you might need a title page. This is up to the discretion of your instructor, so make sure you check whether or not he or she wants one. To make a title page, you need to add a page. So start by putting your cursor at the very beginning of your work and on your keyboard hitting Control and Enter at the same time. Then you want to move up to the top of your page and go to Paragraph. Click on the small arrow on the right and make some changes in your formatting. First of all, you're going to want to set alignment to center. You're going to want to keep this at none, and you can have your line spacing at single. Make sure that before and after is set to 0. Click OK. Then hit your return key about 5 times and type your title. So you have your title, and it's in title case so that the first letter of significant words is capitalized. And once you have typed that, then hit your return key about 14 times and type your first and last name. Hit return another 14 times. And then you're going to type the name of your course, your instructor's name, and the date. And do the date in this format with the date of the month, and then the year. And let me zoom out so you can sort of see what this is going to look like overall. You can see that the 3 parts are about equally spaced. Next, you're going to need to do page numbers. And to do this, you're going to first move into the header, which you can do by moving your mouse up to the very top and double clicking. That opens the header as well as the header and footer toolbar. The first thing you want to do is write or click on different first page, and you're going to take that and highlight it, and you're going to hit delete. The next thing you're going to do is move down to the second page, do page number, top of page, plain number 3. And you see, because we said different first page, we now have a page number here that we didn't have on our cover sheet. Some instructors may want your last name here. Remember to have a space. The other very important thing to remember here is that the header information has to match the rest of the paper in font, size, and style. So I'm coming back to the Home tab, going to Fonts, picking Times New Roman, which is what I'm using on the rest of the paper, and 12. And there we have all the way through. You have your last name and the page number. And remember, to get out of the header, you can just bring your mouse back down over the body of your paper and double click, and that will take you out of the header. And again, no headers on the very first page, but page number and last name if necessary on the remaining pages. When you're using the Chicago Manual of Style, you have to make sure that you do the in-text citations in the appropriate way. For most of us, we're going to use the footnote style. To do that, you'll figure out where you need to put in your citation, assuming that we'll say the citation ends right here. And you're going to go to the References tab and then move to the left to the footnote area and click on Insert Footnote. And what that does is it takes you immediately to the bottom of the page. You can see that there's the body of the paper, and then at the bottom of the page is where the footnote is. And you have to do quite a bit of editing with this. So we'll start out and we'll put the actual citation in there. And what you need to do first is highlight the whole thing and go back to the home page. Make sure that the font is what the rest of your paper is, both in style and size. Then go to the paragraph and go under Special under Indentation and click on First Line. Here you're going to leave single alone. You don't need to click on Don't Add Space, and click OK. The next thing you need to do is fix the footnote number. So highlight that and come up to the font area and go to this highlighted X squared. What that does is it toggles the superscript on and off. So right now it's on, and you see that the 1 is tiny, and now it's off and the 1 is full size. The other thing you need to do is add a period after that 1. So there is our first footnote. So let's add a second footnote. So I'll find the place where the quotation or the information that I need to cite is, and I'll put my cursor there. Again, I go to References, Insert Footnote, and there's my second citation, which is still kind of not the way I want. So I'm going to highlight the whole thing, go to Home, fix the font, fix the size, fix the paragraph. I want first line. I want it to be single spaced, and I'm going to say that it's okay to add space. When I'm done, I'm going to click OK. Now, depending on how or where you got your citation information, you might have to make some adjustments. In my case, I have this and I have to move it over back to the left. So I'm going to come up to the paragraph area and I'm going to click on this, which decreases the indent. So it's going to move it left, and there I go. And again, remember, in this case, it's the first line is indented. And if you scroll up, you can see that this is lined up with all the other indents on the page. So I'm going to double check this. First line, single, I'm okay. Now I have to just change the footnote number. Again, click on X squared to turn that off and put a period after the number. You do have to have one space between the two entries. Now, anytime you use information from another source, you do have to cite it. And in this particular style, if you use information from the same source more than once, the next time I use it, I'm going to format the footnote in a different way. So let's come down here and we'll add another footnote. References, insert footnote. And you notice that it's numbered as 3. It's the third footnote in the entire paper, not per page. So in this case, I'm using this first source a second time, different page number, and it's a slightly different setup where it's just the author's last name, a shortened version of the title, and the page number it's from. And again, you're going to need to make sure it's formatted. Unfortunately, there's no way to do this universally with all your footnotes. And you want to make sure your fonts are fixed. And then you just need to fix the footnote. There you go. Once your paper is formatted and you have a title page, you're going to need to add a bibliography. To do that, you need a separate page at the end of your paper, and what we do to make that happen is put your cursor after the last word in your paper, and on your keyboard press Control and Enter at the same time. That will give you a brand new page. Notice that you have your last name and a page number, just like on the rest of your paper, but keep in mind that your bibliography, just like your title page, doesn't count towards your page count on your assignment. To start, you're going to put the title in, so come up to Paragraph, click the little arrow for the pop-up, and make a few changes. First, you'll change the alignment to center, and basically you have to take care of the indentation as well. Make that none. You can leave the rest the same for now. Click OK and type bibliography. Hit Enter, and then you're going to need to change the formatting of your page a little bit. Click the paragraph arrow again, and you're going to change your alignment to left. You're going to change your indentation to hanging, and you're going to change your line spacing to single. Everything else stays the same. Now we have to work on the entries. In this case, I've brought one from another source, so I'm just going to paste it in. And this is already formatted correctly. You'll notice that this does have a hanging indent in that the first line is flush against the left side of the page and all other lines after that are indented. Make sure that you check with your instructor, your textbook, or a reliable online source for formatting different kinds of sources. In all editorial styles, you have to make sure that you're doing it the right way. And that's it.